So we should be getting pretty close. We've got 15 of our 16 for round number 4 of Pro. The only one that we are waiting on is the guy who just lit up the scoreboard to claim the big check on the Hughes performance Saturday. So he has still got some racing to do tonight. It's like, yay, we win. Okay, back to the lanes. That's kind of the way that it goes. So Brandon is back there getting the car ready to go to come back at the round of 16 in Pro for Friday. We have got our 3 semifinalists on the Super Pro side racing for 15 grand. Again, Keys will be on the bye. Pierce will have lane choice over Paravolaris. And we will get them back into the staging lanes as soon as they are ready. Again, we're going to run our 8 pair of Pro from Friday night. We'll run our semifinal in Super Pro. And then at that point, our objective, again, as we had said from the start, is pretty much just focus on finishing everything that we can today. So that when we come back tomorrow for our RB Components Sunday, we've got very little, if any, to do. But we've still got a little bit of time. We know that, I mean, good news, right? It's not windy out there. It's not overcast out there. It's not what it was the past couple of days. We'll just leave it at that. It's not what it was. And I think most people are happy that it's not what it was. So I know there's several people that don't quite get the Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure. Or they don't quite get the, Saturday Night Live reference where we're going to go back in time and you do the the whole Wayne's World thing, but we are going back. Honestly, we're going back, what, about 24 hours? Is that when we walked out of here last night? It was about 9 o'clock, a little after. So we are jumping back 24 hours. And it's not even like the whole daylight savings time thing. We're not doing 1 hour or 2 hours. We're jumping back 24 hours. We have got our 16. We have got them paired. And we are going to run Pro round number 4 from Friday. Again, Super Pro semifinals. Go ahead and make your way back into the lanes. As soon as you can be ready, please. Super Pro semifinals. We want to get the 3 of you back here. And let's play the game. Robert Hall. And again, this kind of makes it easy, right? Except for the fact that we'd be looking for a provisional. Not even really that. We're on a ladder. And with 16, it's going to be even all the way through. Nobody's really racing for a chance at a bye. Nobody's really racing for anything except turn on that scoreboard and get to the next rung of the ladder. Rutzel in the 2,000-bodied Camaro, part of the Minnesota Mafia. Dialed in at 551 over to the right side, and the Chevelle of Robert Hall out of Colorado dialed in at 676. Red line start for Rutzel. The Camaro pounds it away by 4 thousandths of a second and is dead on 551 on a 551. At this point, everybody's had so many laps down the racetrack that they've all got it figured out, and they're not dealing with a headwind, they're not dealing with a tailwind, they're not dealing with overcast. Pretty much just got to get them dialed right. Robert Hall, 8 and dead on 8. Is 16 total. Advancing into round number 5 on a Kid Performance and Dyno. Oh! It just got dark. It's still lining up the race. Diane Red by 12 thousandths of a second. $12 red. So Diane fouls it away, goes 693 on a 696. Super Pro Semis for Saturday. Hughes Performance Super Pro Semis. Let's get you headed in here. Ken Passerby is 27 green and 683 on a 685 as Sasha Hofer and Tim O. Moore. They're going to get after it now. Sasha's dialed 749. Tim O's dialed 580. 10 thousandths of a second. Differentiate them at this end, and a 752 on a 749, and a true margin at the stripe of 1/10,000ths of a second. Sasha runs 52.3 on a 49. O'Moore goes 82.3 on the 80 dial. And a margin of 0.0001 sends Sasha into round number 5 of Pro. I'll bring out Mark Johns. Mustang over on the right side, and Joe Kidd Jr. The Nova on the left, 687 to a 637. One bolt difference on the tree. The Mach 1 in staged and set. 11 thou is the difference at this end of the racetrack. Wind light turns on for Kidd. 61 green, dead 9. Getting there second sends Joe. 1 round deeper. Mark Johns is 50 green. Take 27 thou at the stripe to break out by 7 thousandths of a second. It's Mike Stewart and Richard Llewellyn. The 67 Chevy that he and Colin Poist are doing double duty in the driving with. And Mike Stewart out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Stewart's down 577. Llewellyn. Whoa! Wow. Mike Stewart gets all kinds of crazy here on the starting line. Richard Llewellyn gets down there to the finish line, realizing that Mike's not there, and he goes like almost over. Wow. Mike Stewart was out of the gas and up towards the center line, get down there near the finish line, and Llewellyn's car literally pulls the rear tire off the ground. What a wild lap. Wow. That is definitely wild. All right, so at this point, definitely taking a close look at a couple of things. So basically having Mike Stewart with the wheels up, headed towards the center line, and then at that point, Stewart's able to keep it kind of in the middle, and Richard Llewellyn ends up with a very wild ride down at the finish line. Just kind of taking a very close look at everything and before we make a final decision. But as of right now, based on how that run finished up, it's looking like Llewellyn's moving on, but they are just double checking a few things, making sure. That's C.W. Hofer and Brandon Umberger. So CW's dialed 748, Umberger dialed 589, and Brandon. It's weird to say that here in a quote-unquote Friday night race, your Saturday winner rolling up to the starting line. Umberger's already picked up a big check here this weekend in Pro. Trying to stay alive against one of the toughest out there, C.W. Hofer. That 748 dial and a red light start for CW by 14 thousandths of a second. Ends up 746 on a 748. But handed the win light over to Umberger. Umberger ends up 2 under, 587 on a 589, and oh, by the way, was trip zip perfect leaving the starting line. So Umberger puts triple zeros in the reaction time column, goes 2 under. Getting the win light there as Brett Spence, the Nova out of Walters, Oregon, taking on Henry Robertson. Robertson was doing real good with a couple of entries deep into the Hughes Performance Saturday race. Gets a chance to roll back, maybe get the groove back. 652 the dial for the Mustang, 641 the dial for the Nova. 0.05 of a second, the difference in reaction time. Win light turns on for Brett Spence. Comes down to a double breakout. Henry was 18 green, gets to the stripe first by 8 thou and goes 650 on a 652 to be 13 thou under. Brett Spence followed him through to be 10 thou under. Scoreboard lights up for the Nova left side as Carlos Ortiz and Steve Mang going to be our final pair in Pro round number 4 from Friday night as our Super Pro semifinal rolls into the water box. 698 the dial for Mang, 617 the dial for Ortiz. Ortiz is in trouble. Mang wasn't great and does not get the win. Stephen Mang was 34 green. Carlos Ortiz was 34 thou behind that. He had doubled the reaction time, goes 620 on a 617. Stephen Mang takes 900 at the stripe and breaks out by 11 thousandths of a second. Ouch. Ouch. semifinals in Super Pro. Marco Caravalares versus Brad Pierce. 3 fouls separate them in reaction time, and Marco is headed into the final. Brad Pierce, 008, goes 653 on a 635 dial. Marco is 11 green and 659 on a 656. Brad parked, Marco went by. Win light to Marco. He'll be coming back to take on Travis Keys. So it'll be a California versus Colorado matchup in the final of Super Pro. All right, so our final has been set. Travis Keys is going to be coming back to take on Marco Caravalares in Super Pro Saturday, the Hughes Performance Super Pro Saturday. We have whittled our pro field from Friday down to 8. We had 4 pair remaining in Super Pro door car from last night. And Carson, I'm just going to say that's not what's happening here. That was something totally different. You look at what everybody else is doing, it just... So we had 4 pair remaining in Super Pro door car on Friday that still needed to run. So we're going to take those 8 cars to lanes 7 and 8. Again, 048X. So 048X and 7431. Again, this is Super Pro door car. Round 3 from Friday. We need to get you back. It's 048X and 7431. 7892 and 750B. 5295 and C773. 563CX and K671X. So we got our 8 remaining door cars on the Super Pro side from Friday. We are looking to get you back into the staging lanes so that we can wrap up what was round number 3 in Super Pro door car. So again, our 8 cars, let's get you headed over to lanes 7 and 8. Again, that's 048X, 7431, 7892, and 750B, 5295, C773, 563CX, and K671X. Those 8 door cars that were still left to run when we had to go on pause last night in Super Pro. Get you back to the lanes, please, to lanes 7 and 8. All right, again, so for our 8 cars that were remaining on Friday in Super Pro Door Car, we have called you to lanes 7 and 8. For the rest of the door cars that had not yet made a run in round number 3, again, we had several door cars that had already made the run and advanced. If you had not yet made your run in round number 3 and were not yet paired in round number 3 last night, if you're still double, let's get you to 3 and 4. If you're single, let's get you to 5 and 6. So again, Friday, round number 3, Super Pro Door Car. The 8 cars that were already paired should be in lanes 7 and 8. Those that had not yet run and had not yet been paired, let's get you headed to lanes 3 and 4 if you're doubled, 5 and 6 if you are single entered. We're giving our Super Pro finalists an opportunity with Travis Keys and Marco Peravolaris to get their stuff turned around and ready to go. But again, what we're looking at is going into Friday Night Remix. Super Pro Door Car, round number 3. We've got 8 cars that were already paired. We've got a handful of cars that were still left to run. So again, if you were one of the paired cars, you should be in lanes 7 and 8. If you were one of the unpaired cars, if you're still double entered, we need you to 3 and 4. Single entries, let's get you headed to lanes 5 and 6, please. All right, 048X, 048X, 7431, and I believe he said 750B. Still need you into the staging lanes, please. Again, 048X, 7431, and 750B. Looking for you in lanes 7 and 8. And Super Pro Finals, Super Pro Finals. We'll get Travis and Marco headed back this direction. Travis and Marco, come on down. At this point, I feel like an air traffic controller. Or somebody who's handling the flight deck on an aircraft carrier. We're like, all right, we're going to get our pro car or our Super Pro door cars that are already paired over here. We're going to get our unpaired cars over here. If you're double, go over here. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. Oh my goodness. All right, Super Pro Finals from Saturday. Let's get you headed this way as well.
You're clear to 15,000 feet.
Yeah. You are. All right. I believe it is Andres Hull. Andres Hull, 048X, the black pickup truck. We need you into the staging lanes, please. Andres Hull needs you into the staging lanes now, please. All right, Kid Performance and Dyno Pro, round number 5. Pro, round number 5. Umberger with lane choice over Ortiz. Hofer with lane choice over Spence. Llewellyn with lane choice over Kidd. And Hall with lane choice over Passerby. Let's get our 8 remaining in Pro, round number 5. From the Kid Performance and Dyno Friday race as we are into our Super Pro Finals. $15,000 up for grabs here between Travis Keys and Marco Paravalaris. We have crowned our Hughes Performance Pro winner in Brandon Umberger. We are about to crown our second winner of the event, and it'll either be the dragster out of Colorado piloted by Travis Keys or the dragster out of California for Marco. Wouldn't be the first time that he finds his way into the winner's circle here at the Southwest Showdown. Saturday seems to be the magical day for Marco. Won here 2 years ago, runner-up here last year. And he's trying to get around Travis Keys this time and will not. Travis Keys is 19, take 2 thou at the stripe, and breaks out by 5 thousandths of a second. Marco was 25 green and goes under by 9 thou. Travis Keys going to be your winner on Saturday in Super Pro in a Hughes Performance Day for $15,000 here at the Southwest Showdown. The Pueblo, Colorado-based racer will claim the trophy, the check, the hat, and all the goodness that is Super Pro winner for Hughes Performance Saturday. We're now making our way into Super Pro Door Car. Continuation of round number 3.
So we are back into the remainder of round 3 of our Kid Performance Super Pro category. Got our door cars. Had a handful of them left to go. Andres Hull left side out 664. Going to take on Ruben Quintero Jr. out 609. So at this point, we'll take Pro quarterfinals, lane 7 and 8. Pro quarterfinals, lane 7 and 8. Dragster, round 3 dragsters from yesterday's program. Doubles to 3 and 4. Singles to 5 and 6. Once again, dragster doubles to 3 and 4. Singles to 5 and 6. No box. Quarterfinals or pro quarterfinals, you should be in lane 7 and 8. Win light there goes to Ruben, 52 and 2 hunt under, gets the win. Andres, 21, take 32 to be 21 thou under. Sarah Kidd, left side, out 682, could take on Jeff Jones. Jones out 613. Win light, give to Kidd 33, get behind 44 to be 5 thou under. Jones 23 and 39 thou under, no good. Sarah Kidd will move on. Travis Ritzel left side out 551, take on Larry Cannon out 615. Ritzel, 43 dead 5, turns on the win light. Cannon, 31, take 22 to be 5 thou under. Travis Ritzel will advance. Rodney Snyder left side, out 512, take on Ken Swayo, out 589. Right up front. Win light, give it Snyder 23, 2 above, gets there 10 thou. Swayo 40, 1 above 9, no good. Rodney Snyder will advance. Brett Spence, need you back. Brett Spence, need you back to the lanes. Brett Spence, need you back to the stage lanes. Brett Spence, need you back. So we're going into round 5 for our Kid Performance Friday Pro category. That'll be the next thing you see. First pair out, Brett Spence, left side. Walters, Oklahoma is where the Chevy 2 hails from. He's out 6:38, take on Miss Sasha Hofer. Hofer and the Firebird out 7:51. Winner, headed to the semis. Give a win light to Spence, 39. One above gets the win. Hofer, 51, take 53 to be 52 thou under. Brett Spence will advance. Robert Hall, left side, out 676. And Ken Passerby. Passerby in the Vega out 683. Win line comes on for Hall, 004, take 16 to be one above 8. Passerby 14, 2 above, no good. Robert Hall down to 4. Brandon Umberger, left side, you just saw him pick up a $5,000 big check in today's pro category. He's out 588, taking on Carlos Ortiz. Ortiz trying to stop the Chevette, dialed 619. Dead 2. He'll be down to 4 when we come back around. Once again, Super Pro Dragsters, round 3 of Kid Performance Friday. Need you in the lanes. Super Pro Dragsters, round number 3. You should be in the lanes for Friday's main event. Super Pro Dragsters, round number 3. You should be in the lanes. Doubles 3 and 4. Singles 5 and 6. Joe Kidd Jr. left side, dialed 682. The Outlaw take on Richard Llewellyn. Richard dialed 664, had a very close call last round. And a win light will go to Kidd, 043 and a bunch over, as Llewellyn was way late. So that will conclude our quarterfinal round of Pro. We got round 3 dragsters in the water box. Jerry Hall left side, dial 531, will take on Bree Vandermeer Herman, dial 453. Win light, give it to Hall, 052, dead 2. Turns on the win light. Bree, 39, takes 16, puts her 1 foul under. Jerry Hall, move on. Mark Barnhart left side, dial 466, take on Leroy Duran, dial 487. Give it to Barnhart, 28 and 5 thou under, gets the win. Leroy, 13, take 19 to be 9 thou under. Mark Barnhart moves on. Carson Campbell left side, dialed 462, take on Amber Escobedo, dialed 498. Carson 12, 1 above, gets their first 3 thou. Amber 007, 1 above 8. And looks like gave that one back 3 thou. Carson Campbell will move on. Calvin Locke left side, dialed 511, take on Chad Axford. Axford dialed 505. give it to Axford. 22 and 3 above as Calvin was late and 3 over. Mark Kidd down 470 on the left side. Take on Brandon Dozel. Dozel on the right, down 468. Thou under. Mark Kidd moves on. Darren O'Connor left side, down 472. Can take on Riley Learcamp, down 471. Give it to Learcamp, 30, and a thou under gets a win. O'Connor, 14, take 27 to be 12 thou under. Riley Learcamp will advance. Greg Hicks and Greg Christensen. Hicks left side, dial 456. Christian and right, dial 459. $466 for Greg Hicks. Christensen, 7 take 8 to be 1 above 7. Hicks 19, 1 above 3, no good. Greg Christensen will move on. Amory Glenbach left side out at 459. Get on Judson Shoot down 474. Amory, 11 and 2 above gets the win. Shoot 42, take 18 to be 25 thou under. Had no chance. Amory moves on. Jeff Taylor down 461. Take on Bradley Johnson down 475. 458 off the 461. Pat Marbach left side, down 513. Take on J.R. Learcamp, down 456. Otis, I believe he is at Rockingham, headed 20 grader today. I believe that's where Jeffrey found himself at. Wind light goes Pat Marbach, 35, and one above. Turns on the wind light, J.R. Learcamp, 19, take 38 to be 8 foul. Under. Race Kid left side, down 474. Take on Gabe Torres, down 477. Wind light, give it to Race Kid, 14, one above, 0. Turns on the wind light. Torres, 23, take 11, puts him a hun under. Had a foul or less to work with. Race Kid moves on. Paul Dowdy, down 493, take on Marco Pervalaris, our runner-up in our Hughes Performance 15K. It's out at 456. Dead 1, 10 total. So Dowdy 10 total will move on. Chris Whitfield left side, dial 467. Take on Blake Johnson, dial 469. Whitfield, 22, take 10, puts him dead on 6. Johnson, 22, one above 6. And 10 foul behind. Chris Whitfield will move on. Amelia Hinch's left side, dial 471, take on Calvin Klinkendinger. Kevin Kleinweber down 447. give it to Amelia, 31 dead 6. Locks out Kevin, who was 40, take 12 to be 15 foul under. Pro semis take you to lane number 8. Pro semis take you to lane number 8. Pro semis to lane 8. Asking you shall receive, Nate Hershey. They're reading our minds up here. Jerry Hall and Hector Salida. Left side out 530, Hector out 515. 15 thou under. Hector will move on. I do believe this is supposed to be Neil Pressmoney, dial 503 in the left, taking on Logan Shannon. Shannon dialed 509 in the right. Dead one. Neil will move on. Jason Dawson left side, dial 462. Could take a Rick Marcy, dial 488. With the win light, 8 and 11 thou under gets the win. Marcy 27 take 2 puts him 32 thou under. Jason Dawson will move on. Mark Kidd and Mitch Marcy. Kidd left side, down 469. Marcy in the right, down 483. Problems for Marcy, so win light goes to Kidd, 16 and 7 over. Jeff Taylor left side, about 459. Taking on, I believe that's Val Torres Jr., about 474. Winlight, Taylor, 27, dead 6, gets their first 7th foul. Torres, 16, and 2 above, no good. Jeff Taylor will move on. RJ Torres down 496 in the left, again Leroy Duran down 487. To Leroy, 20 and 1 above, gets their 11th foul. RJ, 22, 2 above, no good. Leroy moves on. Riley Learcamp left side, down 470. Take on Judson Shoot, down 471. Dead 2. Riley Learcamp will move on. JR Learcamp down 454. Take on Gabe Torres down 477. At this time, we will take round 4 Super Pro Door Card. Round 4 Super Pro Door Card. Doubles to 3 and 4. Singles to 5 and 6. Round 4 Super Pro Door Card will take you to lanes. Doubles to 3 and 4. Singles to 5 and 6. Gabe turned it red. Gives the win to Learcamp, who's 21. 1 over. And I believe this is final pair of round 3 of Super Pro. Marco Paravolaro is down 455. Taking on Sir James Hartvixen. Look at me, remembering things. Sir James dialed 592. Marco in red. Sir James moves on, 007. and 24th thou under. Now complete round 3 of Super Pro. And it's time for the semi-finals on the pro side. Robert Hall left side, dialed 676. Stay on Joe Kidd Jr., dialed 682. Winner headed to a final. Separate them up front. Win line. Give it to Kidd. 8, take 3 to be dead on 9. Hall 10, 1 above, 0, 20 total, and 3 foul behind. Joe Kidd Jr. headed to the final round on the pro side. He'll face off either against our Saturday pro winner, Brandon Umberger, down 589, or Brett Spence. Spence in the Chevy 2, dialed 638. Win light, give to Umberger, 42, dead 2, gets their first 3 Hun. Spence missed it, 52, stopped to be 2 above, no good. Brandon Umberger will be going to back final rounds here on the pro side. Once again, Super Pro Door Cars, round number 4. We have called you to the lane. Super Pro Door Cars, round number 4. We have called you to the lanes. Doubles to 3 and 4. Singles to 5 and 6.
So once again, Super Pro Door Car is Super Pro Door Car. Let's get you headed back to the staging lanes, please. We're going to get you headed back this direction. Super Pro Door Car. Let's get you rolling back this way. So we've whittled our pro field from Friday down to 2. Joe Kidd Jr. and Brandon Umberger are going to be coming back. Umberger making an appearance in back-to-back finals. Essentially, it's one of those things like you're going to be the Saturday final, which happened before the Friday final on the same day. Not too many times you can say that. Super Pro Door car is getting fired up back in the lanes, and they are rolling up towards the water. Again, rolling into Super Pro Door car, round number 4 on the continuation of a Kid Performance and Dyno. Friday, which is now Saturday, which was yesterday, but is now today. And so now I know that you know that I know. And we all know that we're on the same page. So in Super Pro Door car, Rodney Snyder going to roll up. Roadster left side. Taking on Carl Geib, who is, again, celebrating a birthday today. Went deep into the rounds. Super Pro Dragster, go ahead and come on down for round number 4. Doubles to 3 and 4, singles to 5 and 6. Super Pro Dragster. Come on down, doubles to 3 and 4, singles to 5 and 6. Carl's down 628, Rodney's down 513, Rodney's still double. Alright, correction. Dragster 3, 4, 7, and 8. 3, 4 for doubles, 7, 8 for singles. 3, 4 for doubles, 7, 8 for singles. Carl is 11 dead 5, 16 total, and comes up 9 thousandths of a second short of a win light. Rodney was 12 green, dead 4, and by the skin of his teeth gets to the finish line first. So a 5:13 dead 4 after a 12 thou reaction time. 16 total. Carl is 16 total. But 9 thousandths of a second says that Rodney Snyder's rolling into round number 5 on the Super Pro side, as Sarah Kidd's going to take on Ruben Quintero. Ruben coming in out of Mexico, 607. Dialing on the scoreboard for the Camaro. Sarah in the S10. Racing under some of the lights here at Tucson Dragway. Sarah with the advantage. Rides the brakes and gives it back. Ended up too quick. 679 on a 681 was actually running too quick anyway. 679 on a 681 after a 10 thou reaction time. Ruben is 48 green and dead on 1. Kid had predicted the car was going to run 680 run. Took 5 down at the stripe and ends up breaking out. Quintero on to round number 5 is Sammy Franco and Keith Downing. Downing in the Arrow, Franco in the Camaro. 553 is the dial for Sammy out of the right lane. 731 is the dial for Keith out of the left, and a 10 thou split reaction time. Win light turns on for Downing by 7 thousandths of a second. Keith, 732 on a 731. After the 27 light, Sammy Franco was 10 thou behind that, 037 and 1 above as well. Win light to Downing over on the left side. Once again, Super Pro Dragster. Super Pro Dragster. We are looking for our doubles in lanes 3 and 4. Our singles in lanes 7 and 8 is Andrew Olson and Faustino Zaragoza. It's one of those interesting things for some of our cars that had actually run round number 3 yesterday versus those that had to come back and run round number 3 a moment ago. It's been a little bit of a wait missed a step. 005, 2 above, Andrew. The Camaro on the right side turns on the scoreboard. Faustino with 629 dial, 22 thou green, and goes 632 on a 629. So Olson 005, 2 above. Win light to the Camaro out of California. As Nick Ingalls rolls up, part of the Minnesota Mafia in the Coronet, and Don Toya. And the Roadster playing on the home turf, 532. The dial in for Don, 627. The dial in for the Coronet. Pre-stage bulbs are lit, and we know there is no more breeze in the air as the smoke from the burnout continues to linger over the starting line. 4 fouls separating at this end of the racetrack. Don trying to track down the Coronet and will do it. Don Toya, 14 green, dead 2, is 16 thou total. Nick with the 018 reaction time. Gets locked out by 2 thousandths of a second, ends up running 631 on a 627, so the Roadster lights up that right lane scoreboard as Travis Rutzel and Dustin Wirtz. Dustin's dialed 523. Travis trying to keep at least a member of the Minnesota group in the game late on a Saturday night. 551 the dial in for the Camaro in the left. Going to be the first one to find the pre-stage bulbs. A little bit of communication happening back and forth down there on the starting line. Dustin trying to make sure that everything was just right. Travis, who had been sitting there in the pre-stage position, decided to back out and reset his mind. And roll on in. Advantage to Travis this end of the racetrack. Win light Travis 555 on a 551 was 009. Leaving the starting line, Dustin was 31 green, take 24 thou at the stripe to go 522 on a 523. Ends up under by 6 thou, taking 24 down at the finish line. Travis gets the win light. And the Camaro out of Minnesota rolls into round number 5 of the Super Pro Door Cars. John McDaniel in the Lumina, Brad Pierce in the Corvette. Pierce coming off of that semi-final round appearance in the Youth Performance Saturday. Pierce is going another round as John McDaniel is 003 red. Brad 39 green, dead 5. To take the victory lap down the right side, McDaniel ends up 589 on a 587 as Aaron Milton and Karen Snyder roll up. Karen's dialed in with a 536. Aaron's dialed in with a 590. So we'll see the left side lead first. And left side leads red. Aaron red by 11 thousandths of a second. Karen's 38 green, dead 5. To pick up the win light down that right side of the racetrack is Paul Lorden rolls up against Rodney. Rodney again double entered. Try to stay that way. Once again, Super Pro Dragster, Super Pro Dragster. We do need to make sure you are back in the staging lanes, please, for round number 4. Super Pro Dragster, need to make sure you're back to the lanes, please. Again, 3-4 for doubles. So Super Pro Dragster, we do need you back, please. Paul's dialed 618, Rodney's dialed 512. Thousandth of a second. The difference in reaction time. Scoreboard lights up for Paul Lorton. 16 dead 3. Going to be a winner for the Vega out of the left side. Rodney was 17. Take 13 thou. To end up 11 thou under. So Lorton will be bringing the Vega back. We got dragsters rolling into the water box. So if you are one of our Super Pro Dragsters coming back for round number 4 and have not yet made your way back to the staging lanes, we'd love to have you there now, please. Please, oh please, oh please. So Hector Salido, racetrack ride out of Mexico, dialed in at 516. I believe in the car that is being shared between Neil and Chad Axford. Neil's going to roll up dialed in at 503. All right, final call, Super Pro Dragster. Need you to make your way back, please. Super Pro Dragster, final call. 3 thou separate them in reaction time, and Neil is 20 dead 1. That'll get the job done. Hector Salido was 23 on the tree. Neil is 21 total. Presimone going to be rolling the car back around to the back of the staging lanes. As Jeff Taylor and Leroy Duran. A couple of hitters out of Arizona. Taylor in the Genco plumbing car, dialed 459. Leroy dialed in at 486. Taylor's going to be the first one to roll in and light up the pre-stage bulbs. Leroy is late. Like late. Reaction time starts with a 2. He bails out of it, runs 5,700 down the racetrack. Jeff Taylor, 26 green. And then goes 469 on a 459. As Taylor's going to advance into round number 5 with now Mark Kidd and Greg Christensen. Christensen dialed 459. Mark, the proprietor at Kidd Performance and Dyno. trying to stay alive in the race day that he sponsors, 469 to a 459. Christensen's already got the pre-stage bulbs lit. The Colorado-based car. Going up against Twin Falls, Idaho. 20,000. Differentiate them at this end. A 471 on a 469. Mark Kidd is moving on to round number 5. Greg was 45 green and goes 62 on a 459 down. Mark Kidd was 25 green to turn on the left lane scoreboard, be 471 on the 469. It's Carson Campbell and Riley Learcamp. Backing up from the burnout. Carson is back. Olympia, Washington. To Olympia, Washington. So we had a lot of Colorado on Colorado. We got a little Washington on Washington. Happening right now. We got a whole lot of Washington-based cars, or at least Great Northwest-based cars, rolling in here to fight it out. Advantage to Carson Campbell, win light. He's 8 total. 007, dead on 1 for Carson Campbell, rolling out of the right lane and moving on to round number 5. Riley Learcamp, 25 thou behind the green light, then runs 471 on a 470. So Carson punching his ticket into round number 5 is Amelia Henches and Jerry Hall. Jerry, 528 down left side. Henches, 471 dial right side. Rolling our way through round number 4 in Super Pro. 1,000th of a second was the difference. Amelia, 006, dead 8, gets the win light. Down the right lane, gets there second. Ends up 14th out total. Jerry Hall was 005, takes 16th out at the stripe, breaks out by 7 thousandths of a second. So Henches, your winner in that pair, is Pat Marbach. Mark Barnhart. Barnhart, Ezel built car, dial 465. Pat Marbach in the reduced wheelbase version of the dragster that will fit in your regular garage, depending on how regular your garage is. Dial 513. Pro finals coming down. Let's get you headed into the staging lanes, please. Pro finals. Barnhart for the win, 15. And then 466 on a 465. Take 33 thou at the stripe. Marbach was right there with him at the hit. Marbach 16 green. Barnhart was 15 green. Marbach ends up 4 above. And Barnhart moves on as, again, pro finals. It's your turn. We'll take you down into lane number 8. Pro finals, lane number 8, please. J.R. Learcamp, race kit. A lot of the Washington cars trying to hold on here in round number 4. Race dialed 474, Learcamp dialed 455. Difference in reaction time. Advantage Learcamp, win light, race kit. 11, take 2, ends up dead on 6 for race. To move into round number 5, JR was 006 and 13th thou above. Ends up short by 0.02 of a second. Race rolls into the next round as Chris Whitfield, Paul Dowdy. Whitfield for that dialed-in detail kit. The undercover car dialed 467, and for Paul Dowdy, 493 is the dial for the racer out of Centerville, Utah. Dowdy and Whitfield both pre-staged as Whitfield starts to creep his way forward. Dowdy rolling in. Win light, Whitfield, 19 and right on the dial, 467.7 on a 467 for Chris. 21 thou the margin of victory for Whitfield out of the right side. Paul Dowdy was 33 green. And 1 above. To be behind by 21 thou at the finish line is Anne-Marie Glambaki and Jason Dawson. Dawson running out of Vegas, Anne-Marie running out of Meridian, Idaho. A 461 to a 460 dial are on the board. Anne-Marie's got 461, Jason Dawson's got 460. At this end of the racetrack, Jason just happened to be better, 462 on a 460. Jason was 43 green. That was 0.03 of a second better than Anne-Marie, who ends up running 4606 on a 461. Jason to the stripe first by 0.07 of a second, 2 above, lights up the win light. So it sounds like we've got our pro finals back in the lanes, having whatever discussions need to be had before we moving up here. So if we could get our doubled Super Pro dragsters back quickly as you can, please, we would appreciate that. I believe we've got both of our pro finalists already back there. And we will decide a third winner on the night. All right, so just waiting on one more dragster to make his way back. And I believe that is Mr. Mark. Riley Learcamp, Chad Axford going to be the pair on the track right now. Neil has already advanced in the car that they are sharing. Chad's going to roll up this time right side with it dialed in at 503, Riley Learcamp. In another of the Washington-based cars. the resumption of the Friday race seems to have been like pretty good for the Washington cars. We've got a whole bunch of them that have made their way into round number 4. We'll see if Riley can take one more of them into round number 5, or if Chad Axford is going to keep the blue car running hot. $5 the difference in reaction time. Again, neither one of them were great, but Chad Axford lights up the scoreboard. Riley was 26 green, take the stripe by 29 thou, and breaks out by 6 thou. Chad Axford 31 and 1 above to get the win light. Once again, Mark Kidd, your presence is anxiously awaited in the staging lanes. We'd love to have you back when we get our final pair of dragsters down the racetrack, and then Sir James, who has been sitting on the bye for the last 2 rounds. Sounds like he is finally going to get that. And that will put a wrap on round number 4. We've got our pro finals back there waiting to roll so that we can hand out a 3rd trophy, a 3rd check. Again, Brandon already picking up one of them for the Hughes Performance Saturday victory. Travis Keys picking up one of them for the Super Pro victory out of a Hughes Performance Saturday. So with the 2 dragsters back there in the staging lanes, going to be serving as our final pair in Super Pro round number 4. Sir James, as we said, has been a provisional buy that carries over for the last couple of rounds. Didn't end up getting it, ended up having a race, and this time he finally gets it. The 67 Barracuda takes the solo. Dialed in at 589. Ends up perfect and runs 587 with an 8. So trip zip 587 on a 589. Sir James is going to get it back into the pits, get it turned around quickly so that he is ready when that Super Pro door car gets called. Sounds like our final pair is fired up and is rolling this direction. And then we will get to our pro final for the Kid Performance and Dyno Friday night remix. It's the remix. As we are approaching 11 o'clock here on a Saturday night. Track is holding up well. Temperature's holding up well. Yes, good. Jeff Taylor and Mark Kidd separated by a tenth as far as the dials are concerned. All right, Super Pro door car, Super Pro door car, round at number 5. Super Pro door car, round number 5. Let's go ahead and get you headed back into the staging lanes if we've got any doubles left. Let's get you into lanes 3 and 4, singles into lanes 5 and 6. A Super Pro door car, come on back. Taylor's dial 459, Marquette right side dial 469, advantage Marquette, win light Mark. 470 on a 469 dial. He's 003, take 9 thou to move on. Jeff Taylor was 36 and goes 458 on a 459. Mark moving into round number 5, our pro final. As Brandon Umberger just about turns the jelly bean sideways coming out of the water box. Umberger's dial 589, Joe Kidd dial 682, Umberger 003 dead 0. He lays down a 3-pack and takes a margin of 3/10,000ths of a second. Ryan Gleghorn says you have officially earned your man lap. 003 and nothing at the finish line. Joe Kidd was 10 green. Run 681 on a 682. And a nice job for Joe Kidd ending up as your runner-up. But Brandon Umberger, 003, 589.0 with a true margin of victory of 3/10,000ths of a second. Oh my.
All right. For our racers that are still in competition, listen up. We are going into round number 5, I do believe. We will complete round 5, and then we will be done for the night. So once again, we're going to run round 5, then we'll be done for tonight. The game plan for tomorrow: